Hi, how's everybody doing today? Today we are going to discuss the top 10 worst rock metal albums of 2022. Now there's going to be 10, but there's going to be an honorable mention first. And that honorable mention goes to Behemoth with Ops Contra Not Novnam. I don't know how to pronounce that, but after the 2014 masterpiece, The Satanist, the last two albums have been somewhat subpar. I Loved You at Your Darkest, and this one. This album just didn't seem to have the passion of earlier albums. The guitar riffs weren't as intense. Nurgle didn't sound as ferocious as he normally does, and it was a bit of a letdown. However, as a bad album, not really. It's just kind of a letdown average. Now we go to number 10 with Ibaraki and Rashomon. Now this was supposed to be Matt Heafy's from Trivium black metal project. Well, it was only like that for two songs. When Nurgle sang and when Gerard Way sang of My Chemical Romance. It's the second time we've mentioned Nurgle on a list like this, which is just preposterous and unbelievable. But Nurgle was the good part of this album. He was, unlike the Behemoth album, he was the actual good part of this album. And Gerard Way, when he sings black metal, man, he can tear it up. The rest of this just sounded like a regular Trivium album, but somehow even more simplistic than what Trivium normally does. Now, I don't like Trivium all that much, but I don't dislike them or hate them by any means. But I think that there should have been more black metal in this. And Ihsahn, originally from the band Emperor, where was he? I think he was just playing guitar and not doing any vocals. I guess that's just the way they wanted to do it. That's number 10. Number 9, we have Jungle Rot, A Call to Arms. Now, I like death metal, but this is some of the blandest death metal you will ever hear. Every song sounds like the exact same thing, and it's just not interesting to me. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Okay. Number 8, we have Amon Amarth with The Great Heathen Army. This has a song called Get in the Ring. And that explains itself. When you start to have song titles like this and lyrics like I challenge you to a fight, it means that you're running out of ideas. And so this is not worth your purchase. The rest of the album there are some good spots to it, but the rest of the album appears kind of soulless. It really does. Hopefully next time they can get back on track and release a better album, or maybe they'll just quit altogether. I don't know. Number 7, we have Korn, Requiem. What was this? What the hell was this, man? This was just a boring album. This album will lull you to sleep. I'm telling you that right now. There are no heavy spots. There are no real danceable spots. It's just kind of a long out drag of an album. And Jonathan Davis sounds rather weak on this album. So yeah, it's such a disappointment because they had a couple pretty good albums before this, like the Serenity of Suffering in 2016, and the Nothing, which dealt with some personal issues back in 2019, because Jonathan Davis's mother just died. But this one was just a bore all the way through. I'm sorry. Now, and number 6, we have Skillet with Dominion. Now, this could have been a lot better if they wouldn't have added rap and hip-hop elements to it. There actually is some good melody on this album, but it's kind of corny. And now I listened to this twice, wouldn't want to listen to it again. Number 5, we have Five Finger Death Punch, which does the same thing that they always did. The verses sound like Pantera, White Zombie cross with butt rock choruses. Butt rock choruses are found all over this album. The album repeats itself. The lyrics are ridiculous, and supposedly, even among fans, this is one of the worst albums that they ever released. Okay, where are we at? Number 4, we have Razor, Cycle of Contempt. Now, this is a Canadian thrash metal band. And what a horrible album this is. This is just pretty much an atrocity. Supposedly the albums of the 80s, which I've not heard before, were much, much better than this. Here, they have those tough guy lyrics, which really does not appeal to me. And the guitars, there's no there's no crunch at all with the guitar sound. There's nothing thrashy about this album. It's a piece of shit. Number 3, we have Motionless in White, Scoring, The End of the World. This was a complete clusterfuck of an album. Sometimes it would go into metalcore of the worst kind. Other times it would sound like a horrible version of Marilyn Manson, and sometimes you'd get even like Breaking Benjamin vibes. Now, I don't hate Brent. What is it called? Breaking Benjamin. There you go. Sound. I don't mind that sound, but when it's done this poorly, and I really don't hate Marilyn Manson's sound that much either, but this is just a very weak version of that. And not only that, but you get these liberal rants about like red, white, and boom, and all this other shit. I'd say avoid this one at all costs. Number 2, Machine Gun Kelly, Mainstream Sellout. Now this is truly garbage, pure garbage. This is the worst pop punk album I've ever heard in my entire life. This one, Machine Gun Kelly should be called Water Gun Kelly. He is the biggest whiner, or one of the biggest whiners I have ever seen in music. He likes to switch genres sometimes, but let me ask you a question. What the fuck is Lil Wayne doing on a pop punk album? It just sounds so horrible. He sounds so weak, and when he tries to do pop punk, it comes off sounding as abominable. This is a ridiculous album. it's too bad it's as popular as it is, but it shows you the mentality of a lot of the young people in the United States. Sickens me to the goddamn core. So, here's my advice for you, Machine Gun Kelly. Retire from music, become a hairdresser. You have enough money to do that. Why don't you do... You don't need... I think you would be a great hairdresser. Looking at your hair right now, that pink hair that you got, I think this would be a good career change for you. I really, really do, man. Finally, number one, and this was so easy. You know, the Machine Gun Kelly album would have been number one up until 2 days ago, up until I heard this thing. It is Kid Rock with Bad Reputation. Now, in the beginning, Kid Rock sounds like a horrible version of Fred Durst. And songs like We the People have these ultra-Republican chants like, let's go Brandon, blah, 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 the inflation is bad, blah, blah, blah. Then it just turns into wimpy country rock music. I'd say this is just beyond terrible. I think this is the worst album of the decade so far. I really do. And then there's a title of this song called Alabama. Now, I don't like the song Sweet Home Alabama, but this song almost makes me feel like I'm listening to it. The cringe factor is unbelievable with this. And the last song, the icing on the cake, is called 50. The lyrics go like this: I'm fucking 50. I'm old as fuck. I'm fucking 50, and my dick is long and lean. At first, I couldn't believe that I heard that, but then I heard it. I basically wanted to throw up. If you enjoy this album, I suggest you jump into a Floridian lake, and the gators and water moccasins will be there to await you. And if you don't want the pain, just take 1,000 clonazepams and drink a bottle of Smirnoff vodka or Everclear, and that should do it. Now, or if you really want to stay alive, don't listen to this album because you're going to be in pure cringe and you're going to get sick, because Bad Reputation is the worst album of 2022. Now, Psycho Sinner released a couple albums. I did not listen to them because I knew exactly what to expect, but even the Psycho Sinner albums I listened to were not as cringy and horrific as the Kid Rock album was. This was so fucking stupid that it is among the worst albums I've heard in my entire life. And I've heard a lot of them. Believe me, I've heard a lot of them. So that's the end of the worst albums for 2022. Stay tuned for the best albums in about a week or two. Well, I'll be oh so happy. Anyway, thank you for watching. Many people are reading this, which I doubt, leave something in the comments about something that I might have missed. Okay? Take care, guys. You have a wonderful day. Bye.